Yes, hello again and welcome to the latest episode of A Game of Two Halves, brought to you in association with coffee and the smell of an oily rag. We're cheap, but not necessarily nasty, and our methods for awarding points are only slightly less complicated than the handball rule. And joining us for our weekly festival of fun are our teams, representing the Jamo Tarts, Captain Scott Jamieson, who had the week off last week, allowing Melbourne City to actually win a game. And from Bristol City WFC, Ella Mastrantonio, who turns 29 this week, and she just loves birthdays.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, cracking some moves there, Ella. The interim skipper of the Bubsy Babes after the late withdrawal of Melissa Barbieri. What is going on with these absentee Melbourne City players? Is Rose Valente, who might have even starred in that video from the Ladies League. Rose once produced a T-shirt along with her colleagues pronouncing that Ken Ilso can explore my area. Indeed. Joining Rose is Paul Ifill, who once left Sheffield United to get away from Neil Warnock and sign for Crystal Palace, only for Palace to install a certain Neil Warnock as their new manager a couple of months later. Eventually, though, Paul did find the solution. He moved to New Zealand. A big welcome to all our guests. Now, before we get started and before the teams test their buzzers and ensure that their internet connections are more reliable than in the 2018 Grand Final, let's bring you the latest news from around the world of football. First up in the Premier League, Arsenal fans have reacted to the news that Mesut Ozil has finally left the Emirates, signing with Fenerbahce in Turkey.
The former Borussia Dortmund boys combined to devastating effect Mkhitaryan's through.
As Justice fans in the Eredivisie reacted to news that Daniel Arzani is leaving Utrecht. Yeah, take only pictures, leave only footprints. On the central coast of New South Wales, Ziggy Gordon gets a warm welcome back from an ex-co-worker. Lovely. A crowd of 4,659 watched Matt Simon's antics midweek. With New South Wales' current capacity limits set at 25%, we're getting really close to regular sellout fixtures in the A-League. Over in the UK, however, footballers are coming under fire for their celebrations. Perhaps players could take inspiration from COVID-safe celebrations of years gone by.
But if you're going to play party pooper on the Central Coast...
Good social distancing areas there from Timmy Cahill and the famous ball boy in Gosford. We're going to move into our first round 4 points, but before we do that, I'm going to offer our teams a chance to warm up. If you can tell me who actually is on my T-shirt. Does anybody know? We know the name. But does anybody know who he is?
Can't see a T-shirt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, can't see it.
Hang on. We're going to do this because we can edit this. Just a minute. Can you see it?
I just said Timmy. I don't know. It looks like it's a bit folded.
It is certainly not Timmy. No, that might be my extended girth, to be fair, but it's certainly not Timmy Cahill. Any other guesses? Well, the name underneath it is the clue, William Maunders. I know it's certainly not Clint Bolton.
I thought, because I heard he's a big fan of the show, so I actually thought it was Clint Bolton. Apologies.
I think he might have told you that personally. Everybody give up? Okay, well, this probably speaks volumes. William Maunder, or Bill Maunder, is the first ever Socceroos goal scorer back in 1922 against New Zealand. How about that? T-shirt courtesy of Striptease if you want to buy a replica. So let's move on to our first round proper for points. It is 4-4-2, where we show you a picture of 4 football personalities. You have to guess who is the odd one out and why. On to our first set of 4. And they are Carl Valeri, Roy O'Donovan, Zinedine Zidane and Leo Messi. 4 great players in their own rights. There is a point up for grabs for the most creative wrong answer.
Is it Zidane with the blue eyes?
Well, I think he does have blue eyes, yeah, but it's not what we're looking for, Ella.
Is it Carl Valeri, because he's the only one who hasn't held a Sharon at the MCG?
You get a point for that, Rose. That is very creative. And we're going to give you an extra point because the right answer is Carl Valeri. Unfortunately, you got the reason wrong. All of the quartet were sent off in major finals, but Valeri was the only one shown red for something other than violent conduct. He actually received a second yellow for kicking the ball away in the grand final of 2015 against Sydney FC. He was also sent off in the FFA Cup final of the same year. On to our second set of 4. Let's have a look at this quartet. And we have Lisa Devanna, we have Scott Sinclair, we have Tegan Micah, and we have Jessie Lingards. Can we hear your best wrong answers first?
I might say Scott Sinclair because the other 3 might be all TikTok dancing superstars in their change rooms.
You're familiar with TikTok, are you, Jamo?
All over it, Simon. All over it.
You're so hip and cool. It's nothing to do with the answer, of course. Anybody else want to have a crack?
I know Scotty's got a famous girlfriend, Scott Sinclair.
He
That's
does.
about all I know
He
about
does.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
She acted on Coronation Street, didn't she? Her name escapes me for the moment, but it's not what we're looking for. We're going to give Scott Jamieson a point for creativity. TikTok we like. Anybody want to have a crack at the right answer before we tell you what it is?
We'll take the point and go home. Thanks, Simon.
Thought you might, Scotty. The right answer is actually Jessie Lingard. All the rest had bottles thrown at them during matches. Lingard, however, was the recipient of a coin thrown by Arsenal fans during an FA Cup tie against Manchester United in 2019. The fan later claimed he was merely making a donation to the Gunners' rather meagre transfer fund, perhaps trying to give them £40 million and £2 to buy Luis Suarez. Segueing that into a chance for a bonus point, can anyone tell me to the closest month how long it's been since Jessie Lingard's last Premier League goal?
Well, he did score against Leicester at the end of last season, but I don't know the month. So is that a point?
No, you can guess the number of months. I'm making it as straightforward as I possibly can for you.
10 months.
Close, Paul, but no cigar.
9.
8. 8.
Who's going to keep going and get the right one?
7.
6.
Who said 6?
Yeah, I'll claim that.
Paul Ifill. Goodness me, it's like trying to herd cats. You're right, Paolo. It has been a whole 6 months since Jessie Lingard found the back of the net in the Premier League, and you have to go back even further to December 2018 to see his last assist in the league. I can see why he's dubbed Messi Lingard. Well, the whistle blows to signal the end of that opening round. Pretty disappointing in terms of performance. Hayley Rowland, what's the scoreline at the end of that first round?
Well, a cagey first round, Simon, but the Bubsy Babes have the noses ahead, 3 points to 1.
Bobsy Babes yet again. Scotty, you're yet to win in this series. Even your replacement last week, Daniel Georgievski, was as hopeless as you. Is anything going to turn it round for you?
Well, I don't know. Hayley seems to always be in the favour of the other person against me. So I kind of figure it's getting a bit rigged at the moment because I gave some very good answers there. I actually even said Jessie Lingard scored against Leicester and you still didn't give me a point. So what chance have I got?
Because that wasn't the question, Scotty. But anyway.
It doesn't matter about the question, it just matters about the answer and how good of an answer it was.
But Leicester wasn't a funny answer. Anyway, it's just all about basic mathematics, I think, really, while you're losing. But we shall move on. Still plenty of time to make it up. And next up, it is Omni Headlines, where parts of the upcoming headlines are missing, like the Sydney men's winning form in a derby. 1 point to the team who can fill in the missing words or phrases, and some bonus points for those who can write their own press stoppers. And we're off. Our first headline is this: what has Zimbabwe accused Cameroon of? Jamo, this is a chance to get a point.
That's the most ridiculous thing you'll find in this whole show. We're have to talk about Zimbabwe accusing Cameroon of something. I have no clue whatsoever about what Zimbabwe accused Cameroon of. I couldn't even fathom a made-up answer. So I'm going to pass it on to Ella because I'm sure she might have an answer. I'm at 6s and 7s here. I can't even fathom something.
Let's play the team game. Ella?
Oh, my God. I honestly wouldn't even have a clue, and I don't even know what to say to that either. So I'm with you.
Right, well, a flying start to this round from the Jamo Tarts. Do the Bubsy Babes have anything to offer? Rose? Paul?
Yeah, I reckon it's witchcraft.
Well, let's see if you are correct.
Oh, wow.
The answer is witchcraft, or muti as they call it in Africa. That after a dead bat was found on the pitch. Yeah, it's been a horror 18 months for bat PR everywhere, and the bat couldn't even get them the win either. And these allegations are not all that far-fetched, as Cameroon has a little bit of form in the area of embracing the dark arts. The 2002 AFCON semi-final, for example, saw both Cameroon's head coach and goalkeeping coach arrested by riot police for allegedly placing a charm on the pitch prior to the game. I wonder if they've considered using the force instead. Oh, Star Wars rounds. Didn't we enjoy that one? Next up, what has Turkish side Sivasspor done during their snowy game with Istanbul Başakşehir to shock viewers? Now, this one made quite a bit of news around the globe. Anyone tell me an answer, wrong or right? We don't mind either at the moment. Ella, what about you?
Ooh, is this the one that were all white so you couldn't see them?
Ding, ding, ding. That is the correct answer. Yep, they wore whites, leaving fans unable to see them on a very, very snowy pitch. All we needed, basically, is a white ball, and nobody would have had a clue what is going on. The only thing that would have made them disappear more if they'd adopted the frosted tips and bleach blonde trend from the Melbourne City boys in terms of haircuts. Well, that stuff up almost on par with Melbourne victory versus Wellington back in 2015, when clearly it was too hard to think of another colour for a one-off commemorative strip in a 10-team competition. Anyone remember this? That was, I think, after the days of Paul Ifill, so he didn't have to wear that horrible grey. Let's move on to the next question. Why did Stockport County's manager refuse to do Sky Sports interviews? That is our question. Have you got any wrong guesses?
I read this wrong. I thought it was Stockport manager refused to do Fox Sports interview because they don't have Simon Hill commentating anymore. But
oh, and I didn't even pay you to say that, Jamo.
Well, it actually quoted Stockport manager refused to do Fox Sports after Foxtel sacked Simon Hill, but I didn't read it right either there. So.
But they sacked me, did they? Okay. Interesting. My lawyers are listening. Anybody else want to have a crack? Rose, Paul?
No, Ella, you're on it.
I know this one, I think.
Go on.
The manager's was moaning that his skybox had not been fixed by Sky. So he was using his 5 minutes of fame to make sure that got righted.
Paul Ifill is on the money. Scotty, we are going to give you a point for that very creative answer. I'd like to give you 5 for that, but obviously I can't. But Paul Ifill has got it correct. They never fixed his skybox. It's been revealed that Stockport manager Jim Gannon went through a 9-month period of refusing Sky Sports interviews because nobody came round to his place to fix his faulty box. 9 months of silent treatment. Perhaps it's worth trying a rather more direct approach next time. Where's my apology? Where's my new skybox, more like? And we have time for one more headline, and we're not giving too much away. Who now heads a club in the Premier League? That's our headline. Let's hear your answers, please. Go on, Scotty.
Donald Trump now heads a club in the Premier League.
Well, he's in need of a job after this week, hasn't he?
Surely.
Not the right answer, but we are going to give you a point for creativity. Anybody else with the right answer?
Is this one Ryan Reynolds? Or is he America?
It's not. It's a good guess. He's actually involved with Wrexham, isn't he, down the lower leagues in the UK, the club from North Wales, but it is not Ryan Reynolds. Anybody else before we reveal the answer? Ella? Paul?
Elon Musk?
No, the answer is, I like that actually, an ex-porn star. Yep, West Ham United have appointed former porn star and co-owner David Sullivan's long-term partner Eve Vorley to the board of directors. And as you can imagine, the fans haven't taken the news lying down. Still, it could have been worse. At least it wasn't Manchester United, where their men struggled to get past a semi. At the end of that round, we are heading for the sheds, and it is time to take a check on the scores. Hayley Routley, who is as sick as a parrot, and who is over the moon?
Well, we've just seen a comeback of epic proportions there. Bubsy Babes still in the lead just with 5 points, but Jamo Tart's right behind them with 4.
Wow, it's a close contest. Thanks very much, Hayley. We'll be back in a tick after this quick half-time orange. Here's a short commercial break from our partners who help us bring this to you. And if you'd like to help us too, you could buy us a coffee at www.s01e03.com. Every little bit helps. We plan to bring you this for free with as many coffee donations as you can throw at us. We want to bring you fresh new content you want in a way that you want to see it. But we also need your support to continue to do so. So please don't be shy. We don't want a lot, just a little, whatever you can afford. If you enjoy the show and want to see it improve, then buy us a coffee, please, or else we'll make sure every corner's a short corner next season. You can buy us a coffee. Just a reminder of the website, www.ago2h.com. Thank you. Yes, and just like that, we're back. Our next round is the Wheel of Misfortune. Where the wheel stops, only Carney Gallop knows. Yeah, it's one of our favourite segments, footballers ageing badly, courtesy of must-follow Twitter account at 80s Aging, who recently ran the FA Cup of vintage veterans before their time. Now, do you know your Ralph Coates from your Danny Carvalho, the ex-West Ham male model, about whom his manager Harry Redknapp said, "He's so good looking, I don't know whether to play him or fuck him." First up is an Aussie superstar with a 70s tash so thick you could hide a badger in it. Ray Richards. There he is. Our question is, how old was Ray when this picture was taken? There's the 4 options, A21, B25, C28 or D35. Multiple choice. Even you bozos can have a crack at this. Who wants to go first?
28.
Okay, and that is the correct answer. It is 28.
Lovely moustache. You were talking about porn stars before, Simon. That moustache has some look at it.
You thought about saying something extra naughty there, didn't you, Jamo? But thought better of it.
Next Socceroo there, but has a lovely moustache.
Absolutely. Remember, you're still under contract. Yeah, the correct answer is 28 years of age. On to our second one. And this guy is not a character from Kes back in the 60s, but actually Arsenal's Scottish centre-back Ian Ure, pictured during his days with the Gunners in the 1960s. So we want you to guess Ian's age when this pick was snapped, perhaps by Max Brownie. A27... Can you just wait till I get the ages out? A27, B29, C33, D38. Jamo, yes, you did shout out.
I will shout 33.
33 is incorrect.
27.
Who said that?
Rose.
Rose. Sorry, I'm not recognising your voice. It's obviously too similar to Ella's. 27 is the correct answer. A point to the Bubsy Babes. Our third sex god is Italian legend Giuseppe Bergomi, pictured ahead of the World Cup in Spain in 1982 and, of course, his revival tour with Led Zeppelin. So how old was the player nicknamed rather creepily the uncle because of that tash when this pic was taken? 18, 22, 28 or 32?
There's a theme going on this show tonight with moustaches and West Ham owners and everything like that.
Yes. And what's your answer? Or does anyone have a clue as to what the answer is? It's only 1 of 4. It's not that difficult, guys.
I want to go B22.
Paul, no. Unfortunately, it's not 22.
32. 32. We haven't had a 30 plus today. 32.
Scott, good guess. Incorrect. So that leaves you with 2.
Rose is going for A18.
Rose, you are correct.
No
Rose is Googling. Rose is Googling.
I got the treble. I'm happy.
Goodness me. How can an 18-year-old look like that?
Human growth hormones there, Simon. Human growth hormones.
Our final one is Brazilian midfielder Nivaldo. Once had a spell at Benfica, but he's pictured here playing for Portimonense in Portugal in the 1987-88 season. There are the options. Was he 19, 22, 25 or 29?
I really want to say 19, but I'm going to say 25.
No, unfortunately, that's incorrect. Who else wants to have a go?
Come on, Rose, you've been on fire.
Well, I mean, he looks 45, so I'm going to go with D, 29.
You're on the money again, Rose. The answer is indeed
I've
D.
discovered a unique skill of mine. Is clearly guessing people's age.
Spotting old footballers. It's a gift, and one that I'm sure will serve you well in terms of making money in future years. Yeah, the answer is D, 29. So at the end of that round, Hayley, who aged badly?
Thanks to an absolute solo run there by Rose, the Bubsy Babes have surged ahead 9 points to Jamo Tart's 4.
9-4. Come on, Jamo Tarts. You don't want to complete a clean sweep of defeats. And now we're going to move on to Who Are Ya?, where we mash together the faces of two newsmakers, and our teams have to guess who the hell they are and what they've been up to.
I do enjoy my Italian football, and I believe that is Mr. Gattuso and Mr. Brad Pitt.
You are indeed correct. After a last gasp win against Udinese in the Serie A, Gennaro Gattuso, the current head coach of Napoli, said this to the press. Napoli wants to always be beautiful, but sometimes being a bit ugly is a good thing. You can't always be Brad Pitt with blonde hair and blue eyes. Sometimes you have to be a bit ugly, like me. So we thought we'd mash the two of them together, although he really is just repeating what he'd said in an interview before.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Don't you love Rino Gattuso? He's so demonstrative. Let's move on to the second mashup. Teams, get ready. Here we go. Any ideas who these two guys are?
Is it M. Gilnick and... Oh, who is that other one? Is that Teresa Polias?
Oh, you had to think about it, but you got there in the end, like a pot that runs around the edge of the hole and wipes its feet before dropping in. Yep, it's Teresa Polias and Emily Gilnick, both reaching an important milestone in the W League this weekend just gone. Gilnick notching 100 W League games, while Polias amazingly has reached 150, the first woman to do so. For a bonus point, including herself, how many W League players have reached Gilnick's milestone of 100 games? And Polias, of course. Have a guess.
Is it 13?
It's close.
I'm going with 9.
When I said close for the guess of 30, Rose, the clue was in close, and 9 is not close to 30. Go on, Paul.
12.
Yep, still a shank towards the corner flag away. I did say that 30 was close, and you've all gone way too low.
Oh, I thought it was 13.
So did I.
Okay, point to all of you and -5 to me, because clearly my hearing is going as well as my eyesight in my old age. None of you are correct. The answer actually is 27. So nowhere near any of us, which is why I thought 30 was quite close. Finally, our last mash up of the night. Let's go. Who are these people?
Wayne Rooney and Donald Trump.
Wayne Rooney and Donald Trump is correct. Wayne Rooney is, of course, called time in his playing career, and by the time this episode airs, Donald Trump's career of playing as a president will be over as well. Rooney, however, is luckier than Trump, having secured his post-career job as Derby County's head coach, and also, of course, not facing charges of sedition. And that is the end of this round. Let's have a score check with Hayley before we head into our final round.
Well, we're in for an exciting finish, Simon. We've got Bubsy Babes on 9, Jamo Tarts right behind on 7.
It's close, and everything can change in this final round. Teams, it is squeaky bum time. 10 quickfire questions, 1 point for correct answers, -1 for wrong answers, and 2 bonus points if you score a hat-trick of 3 correct answers in a row. Clear as mud, it's all still to play for. So let's go with question 1. Mesut Ozil's saga has finally come to an end with Arsenal, but which Turkish club is he heading to?
Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce is correct. A point to the Jamo Tarts. On to question 2. Socceroos' Jackson Irvine has also finally signed for a Scottish club and also made his debut at the weekend. Which club did he sign with?
Rose.
Ella?
Rose, you were first.
Celtic.
Incorrect. Ella?
Hibs,
Yep,
is
go
it
on, Ella.
Hibs?
It is indeed Hibernian. They're coming up on the ropes are the Jamo Tarts. Question 3. An MLS club has been renamed as Club de Foot Montreal. What was their name before the rebrand?
Jamo.
Go on, Jamo.
Montreal Impact.
Is correct. Another correct answer. I think they get bonus points. I think that's 3 in a row. On to question 4.
You can say something, Ify, surely.
I couldn't remember.
Maybe you can get this next one, Paul. Question 4. Chelsea won 2-1 against Manchester United at the weekend in the FA Women's Super League. True or false, Sam Kerr scored the winner in that game?
Ella?
Go on, Ella.
False?
False. Fran Kirby did. Another correct answer. The Bubsy Babes, could they be staring down the barrel of a first ever defeat in a game of 2 halves?
Don't look so disappointed, Haley. Don't look so disappointed.
You reckon Haley's on the payroll, do you?
Well, let's just be honest. Every red team she cheers for.
She is an Adelaide United fan. However, I don't think she's open to bribery. Question 5. After losing the first leg 6-0, who scored the late winner for Melbourne City in the Melbourne Derby in the W League at the weekend?
Rose.
Should know this.
Go on, Rose.
Lisa Devana.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Ella?
Go on, Ella.
Was it the own goal?
No.
That's not what I've got on my caption.
I'll say me. So I love every girl on the team. I think they're great. I usually know everyone's name, but I do know Chidiac played the through ball for the young lady with the short blonde hair. I can't remember her name at this very moment in time, but I saw her today.
That's got to be minus points. Doesn't even know her
She's
name.
a teammate.
Same team.
She's a teammate of yours.
She trained. I spoke to her today. She trained well, but I just forgot. But Chidiac played the through ball 3-2, and then Melbourne victory went home crying again.
Minus points, minus for sure.
wait, are we talking about 6-0?
Yes.
Okay, good.
3-2 when we won on the weekend.
No, not the 6-0, the 3-2, the second leg, if you like, of the derby.
Passed. We won on the weekend.
Can I go again?
Yes.
Go on, Ella.
Was it Claudia Bunch?
No, and I think Jamo might regret smashing Hayley Routley, given that he's not even recognised his own teammate. Right, we're going to have one final go for anyone to try and get this right. Don't think you're going to get it, are you?
No.
Keeping my tongue.
The answer, Jamo, is Harriet Withers. And you better say hello to Harriet when you see her on the training ground tomorrow.
We chatted about training and a great goal.
Yeah. And you just said, yeah, well done. What's her name? Question 6. As for the other Melbourne derby, that is Melbourne City versus Western United, we also had a late winner for Melbourne City in that one. Who scored that goal?
Jamo.
This is in the A-League. Yes, Jamo.
Jamie McLaren.
If you didn't get that right, I don't think you'd have been allowed back into the training ground. That is correct. Question 7, shout out to Andy Howe for this particular stat. He is the guru of all things statistics with regards to football in Australia. How many Melbourne City players that started against Western United have a last name starting with the letter G?
Griffiths. Good. Jamo.
Go on, Jamo.
Saw this stat. I believe it's 6.
It is indeed 6. You are having a barnstorming last round. Tom Glover, Scott Galloway, Rostin Griffiths, Curtis Good, Ben Garuccio, who's only playing because you were suspended, and Taras Gomulka. That is the sextet. I think that's what you call 6 players. Another point for the Jamo Tarts. Come on, the Bubsy Babes. Your unbeaten run in this quiz depends upon the last few questions. Question 8. Manchester City's John Stones scored a brace against Crystal Palace this weekend. True or false? And were they, I think the true or false is in there somehow skew with. This is the real question. They were also his first ever Premier League goals for Manchester City. True or false?
Ives.
Go on, Ives.
True.
It is indeed true. He waited 93 Premier League games for that moment. Could be crucial points there for the Bubsy Babes. 2 questions to go. Phil Neville, question 9, has left his role as the England women's coach to be the head coach for David Beckham's MLS club. What is the name of the club? Rose.
Inter Miami.
You've got to let him answer. That's
correct.
I needed that point.
Well done, Rose.
We'll bring the adjudicator in on that one if necessary. It could all hinge on this. In fact, let's go to Hayley Routley. Let's give it a little drum roll here. Hayley, what are the scores going into the final question?
I think I have to reveal that the Jamo Tarts have done it regardless of the outcome of this final question. Jamo Tarts currently on 14, Bubsy Babes on 10.
Wow. The unbeaten run has gone. This playing for pride, Bubsy Babes. Number 10, true or false, Leo Messi's first ever red card was on debut for Argentina when he was 18.
Ella.
Go on, Ella.
True.
It is indeed true. The margin of victory extends out even further. Argentina played Hungary in a friendly in 2005, and Messi came on as a sub in the 64th minute and was duly red carded 2 minutes later. And that is the full-time whistle. For one last time, Hayley, let's get the final tally.
Bridesmaids are finally the brides. Jamo Tarts have done it. 15 points to Bubsy Babes 10.
Look at the beaming grin on the face of Scott Jamieson, finally.
The amount of Melbourne City questions there in that last round, can I just say, I noticed a bit of bias. As captain, I'm not quite thrilled. I might have to talk to the fourth official about this one.
Well, Rose, obviously the fact that you replaced Melissa Barbieri, who plays for Melbourne City pretty late on, might have also had something to do with that. But your point is duly noted. And again, we will go to VAR and by my instruction, duly ignore it. So there we go. Jamo takes advantage of Bubs' absence. Our thanks go to our guests, Ella Mastrantonio, Paul Ifill, emergency skipper for the Bubsy Babes, Rose Valente, and regular and triumphant team captain of the Jamo Tarts at last, Scott Jamieson. And before we go, we just got some time for some late breaking news. Melbourne City find a place to put the F that has gone missing from FFA in their rebrand to Football Australia. Guess where it goes. The A-League's Bring a Friend round gets off to a rather poor start as the first invitation is rejected. Leo Messi reveals plans to finally leave Barcelona and challenge for the bantamweight world title. That's a pretty decent right hook, isn't it, from Leo Messi? And the FA pours cold water on W League expansion plans.
This afternoon, Newcastle Jets up against Brisbane Roar, and the sprinklers have taken out a few Jets.
Brisbane Roar's dastardly plan to reroute the water supply from Logan Council so they can go paying the bill has not paid off. Fatal flaw. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to buy us a coffee and tell your friends about the program. Very good night.